live in front of an internet audience. It's the Vox Off Show starring Voxandra. Tonight's guest, IronicLark. God bless the wheel, because it's the Salty Sesh. Submit your questions for the Q&A, featuring Winamp and the Press Play Band. I'm Chair G Table, and it's time to Vox Off!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vox Off Show. I'm your host, Voxandra, and, as always, is behind me my wonderful, fantastic, little bit ridiculous co-host, Chair G Tables.
Yo, what up? It's me, Chair G Tables. Totally not speedrunning something behind this podium.
Yeah, you sound like you're far away right now, like back there in the podium. Can we get a mic check on that? No, is that through my microphone? Oh, okay, your mic's turned on now. Fantastic. I think you're picking up on my mic over the front of the stage chair. I think that's what was happening. My goodness. Listen, did you know that we have a fantastic show for you tonight? Our guest tonight is IronicLark, the writer of Valhalla. How much will our conversation be about the game? And how much will be about Kamen Rider? The answer might surprise you. And we can't forget our fabulous, perfect, absolutely immaculate, amazing every single time band. Chat, can I get the biggest pog applause ever for Winamp and the Press Play Band?
Yeah! Oh, the best! It's so good.
Listen to them jam. Wow.
It's so good.
Just every single, I'm just always taken aback by how amazing they are. Have you ever heard a band sound this good before? I don't know if you have. They are fantastic. They are absolutely fantastic. So, pre-show announcement, or not announcement, little directions as always. Listen, reminder to everyone, all alerts will be off during the show, and any contributions that occur during it will be gone over at the end. Also, please remember, we'll have an audience Q&A later with ourselves and our guest, so make sure you submit your questions and get them in there. I don't care how silly or mundane you think those questions are. If you're thinking it, if you're wondering it, get that question in there. Maybe I might have missed something. Maybe I didn't ask do you know what Chair's favorite food is? You might not know. You better ask it. You better ask that. Don't answer, Chair. I hear you. I hear you're about you gotta save it. You were about to answer. You gotta save that. You gotta save that. No, don't say it. Only if they ask. No answer, only ask.
Let's have a quiz.
Oh my goodness. With that out of the way, it is time. It's time for the scoops, the hot gaming scoops. Your number one gaming news source, the Vox Off Show, with the hot gaming scoops. Are you ready? Are you ready to see what was in the news this week?
Oh man, let's hear it.
All right, well, if you say so, Chair. An ex-Microsoft engineer was sentenced to 9 years in prison recently. Turns out They were exploiting a system that allowed them to make over $10 million by selling Xbox gift cards and laundering them into Bitcoin. What they
Oh my
apparently
god.
did, right? Here's what they did is that they
Mhm, mhm.
created test accounts to test purchases on the website, like for a controller or a game or something. And like, it wouldn't
Mhm.
it wouldn't send it to you. It was just a test account. The problem is, if the test transaction was for an Xbox gift card, it would
Mhm.
still give you the gift card code, even though, yeah, even though it was just a test account. So, what does this person do? They
What
set
what
up
did he do?
an automated system to go just freaking hog wild and would sell the cards to just various sites at a discount in exchange for like Bitcoin and stuff. They were laundering
Oh
it.
my
And other sites would sell them on the cheap. That's what was happening there. Dude was just making
god.
millions of dollars and buying yachts and all sorts of shit, living the high life. So, he got caught because the high ups in the company or whoever else in it saw that there was a massive spike in gift card sales, just an absolute spike of millions of dollars of gift card sales out of nowhere. And so they got caught. And
Oh.
when asked why the culprit didn't think that they'd get caught, right? They responded with, "Well, the other part of the plan was that I kept stealing the stapler of some guy named Milton in the office, but instead of burning the building down, he just kept calling me a dick."
SLH! SLHU.
You think? I guess the guy didn't see Office Space, right? He kind of missed the part where they would have got caught if the building didn't burn down, right? They missed that whole part.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
My goodness.
Vox, would you buy what 1,000 Super Ledgehop Steam keys? And sell them for 1 Bitcoin.
No chair. I would not get illegal sledge hop Steam keys on the cheap and then sell them for a quarter. I guess, although that would make Ledge Hop the true quarter game then, wouldn't it?
Oh,
So,
sob, sob, I still can't.
this isn't the only
Still
people
so
in hot water. We got more people in hot water over here, right? Turns out the
Mhm.
Counter-Strike group FaZe Clan has suspended multiple members and completely kicked out one as they were involved in a cryptocurrency scam. Yeah. Apparently, these members were helping launch a new crypto coin called Save the Kids, which promised that a percentage of all sales involved with the coin would go directly to charity. The idea of a
Ooh.
crypto coin that helped charity naturally attracted the attention of various influencers.
Influencers.
So the coin just blew up in popularity, only to, surprise, completely crash down about 2 days later.
Of
Just like
course.
instantly
Oh.
gone. Save the kids. Come on. Like that's the most obvious thing ever. Like, oh, please we're saving the kids with this cryptocurrency. Oh my goodness. Like how more obvious is that? You know, I look forward to the next altcoin to come out and be promoted by gamers, such as we have here Crypto for Cats coin, promising a portion of all sales to go directly to the well-being of cats. If that's one way to do it, right? Right.
Mhm, mhm.
Another one here called Children Will Die If You Don't Invest in This coin, with an even vaguer description of proceeds going towards the children. There's also We Promise This Isn't a Pump and Dump coin, which apparently is giving a percentage of sales to water treatment pumps. What? This is sounding a little sus here. I don't know. But probably not as sus as this next one, Pump and Dump coin, which is saying they're going to give a percentage of their sales to your local dump. Oh man, oh man. And
Oh,
one
man.
last one here is The Coin is a Lie, where there's no actual mining or coins, just a PayPal address that you send money to.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the best one. So are you gonna invest on that one?
You know, You know, that might be the good one. That just might be the good one. I'm not sure about that. Save the
Mm-mm.
kids coin.
Save
Can
the
you
kids.
believe
Save
that,
the kids.
chair?
Vox, do you even know like what it says on like their website on how it goes to the kids?
How does it?
They said, "Oh, when you get save the kids coins, 5% of it will be going to the tax, and 1% of the 5% that went into the tax goes to the kids."
So 1% of 5% of the coins goes to the kids. That's how we're saving the kids. Beautiful. You know how couldn't believe this was a scam. Couldn't believe it. How could it? Oh my goodness. But listen,
Save the kids.
listen, chair. You know what? Forget the kids. Get rid of them. They're gone. It's time for the gamers. Humble Bundle is
Oh.
back in the news again. Now, you might have remembered the backlash they got back when they tried to change their system, so the maximum amount of money you could give to charity in the bundles was only 15%. Well, thankfully, they rolled back that atrocious change, but they are back with a new one. This time,
Oh.
you can still choose how much goes to charity, but a minimum Humble must get is at least 15 to 30%, depending on the bundle. Well, it isn't as egregious as the charities only getting 15%. It does mean the maximum charities can get are 70 to 85% instead of just putting all 100% to charity. So,
Hmm?
now this is some speculation here. You know, this is all speculative. But you might one might want to wonder, right? If the first change was just made to see what happens and outrage people, so that they could make
Uh-huh.
the second one, like the real, like the intended to do that second one, but make that look like, oh, okay, that's a better one. Everyone's happy with it now. You know, try to hurt everyone with one so they get all upset, and then when they do, like, oh, here's a better idea, and they're like, oh, okay, could be, could be. That's all speculative, speculative. You know, just thinking about it. When
Speculative.
uh when asked about this
Hmm.
speculation, a spokesperson responded with, "This is absolutely not the case, and also has nothing to do with the company now changing their name from Humble Bundle to Exploiting Your Desire for Charity in the Hellscape Known as Our World to Sell Video Games Bundle."
Speculative.
That's that seems like
Speculative.
a long name. I don't know. That seems like way too long of a name. I think they should just leave it at Humble Bundle. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Bit
Yeah.
too bit too many words in it.
Speculative.
Bit too many words in there. All right. So listen, enough of that. It's time to talk about mods. Talk about modding. Yeah.
Oh,
Nexus
let's hear it.
mods apparently are in the news as they are changing some policies that have people abuzz. It seems there's going to be a new policy that modders will not be able to delete their mods from the site, but can only archive them and make them unavailable. Now, this is because Nexus Mods is rolling out a new feature called Collections. And the idea is that, you know, you have a collection of a bunch of different mods, and then you can download them all in once, and all the mods work in tandem with one another. Like, it's all set. We all know they all work. One won't break the other. It's a collection of a bunch of mods for game. Just slap them all in at once, which sounds convenient. You know, it sounds like a neat thing, right? But if a modder
Yeah.
were to delete a mod, then it would totally break a collection because it would have a missing element that was tested with it. Might not work then. So, well, this is understandable in the context of the collections. Even if the compromise Nexus came up with was the archival option, where they'd only be available through the existing collections, some modders might not like this because what if they don't want their mod on Nexus mods anymore? Like, they just want to completely remove. I don't want you to get it from here anymore. You know, we just want to remove
Oh.
it. They can't do that
Yeah.
anymore. Like, they will always be there in those collections. Now, they can make them unavailable and archive them, so you can't directly go and get that mod specifically, but you could still get it through the collections anyway. So it's kind of a tough thing, right? Like, you can't
Yeah.
completely remove it, and they're like,
Yeah.
you know. Maybe they want to get
Yeah,
rid
yeah,
of it. They might not like Nexus mods anymore. They want to remove it. It's understandable. It's understandable.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's like when you gorilla glue your hair.
yes, Chair, it's exactly like that. So, when questioned about this, a spokesperson from Nexus Mod said, "Ara, ara, is my poor little mod trying to tell me that they
No,
no longer wish to be a part of Mommy
no,
Nexus?
ew!
Why ever would you desire to be away from my loving embrace? Don't you realize how broken my collection would
No!
be if my gorgeous little mod was gone forever? Oh, no, no, my dear little gaming modifications. We're going to be together forever, and you're
No!
never leaving my beautiful collection of perfect little mods."
No! Oh my gosh! What are you doing, Vox?
Hey, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, did you know we have a wonderful show tonight?
Yes, but you might have just ruined it.
We have a great... No, I think the show is only enhanced now. All right? Only enhanced. Everyone, IronicLark is here.
Oh,
We have a salty session where we need to get hella salty in. Winamp and the Press Play Band. But coming up next is our week in review. Stick around. Chair G tables. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
When you switch the slide, I dropped my phone. I'm like, I have to pick it up before before the camera goes to us. And then,
Chair's
yeah,
just
like,
tripping.
it
The
was
phone.
20 degrees.
Lose the phone under the table you have over there. You shouldn't even have your phone on set. You're bringing your phone on set over here, Chair.
No, it's not that I use the phone. Did I ever tell you about my object flipping habit?
Chair, I have to say, I don't think there's a single person who knows you who would be surprised to find out that you need like fidget devices. I don't think there's a single person who would ever be surprised by that.
Yeah. Sometimes if I don't have something on my hand, I flip my phone.
So that means you have like a special OtterBox case or something to prevent it from falling over the time because you're probably gonna break it, right?
Yes. Yes. Vox, did I tell you when I was in high school, I kept flipping pens in like a class, and then it keeps hitting other students, and the teacher was like, "That's it. I'm gonna challenge you to not flip your pen or your binders or your notebooks for the whole semester. You have 3 strikes. But if you're able to not get past 3 strikes, I'm gonna treat everyone to coffee." So everyone was like staring at me. They're like, "You better not mess this up." It was like one of the most pressuring things ever.
If you have more questions about Chair's bizarre experiences in high school, feel free to ask them in the Q&A. Chair. All right. Real quick. What did you do this week?
Oh. Okay,
Besides
let me
reminisce
tell you.
about terrorizing other students.
No, I'm not. Okay, here, listen up.
Listen, let me tell you something.
I had my friends come to the lame dimension headquarters, and then and it was like it was after your show, and I went out and I saw them playing Action 52. And then guess
Speaking of
what?
Action 52,
I found out. I, I was looking up like the history of Action 52, and I found out that I had the original Action 52 as the
what?
first cartridge that I ever owned in my life.
Like the original, like actual multi-cart that Action 52 was like
Yeah,
based off of?
yes, the actual multi-card. I
Holy crap.
I own- no, I always thought of it as like, when I hear the menu or see the menu, I'm like, it's probably some other, it's probably like a multi-card standard. But when I saw like where it's actually from, and I'm like, that's the exact cartridge I have. And I even saw
That's
the weird
crazy.
artwork for the cartridge. And I had the original one. That's the first one. That's the first game I ever had. And it comes with games like Fancy Brother.
Fancy Brothers. You know,
Yeah,
I
it's just
I watched you play
what?
that, and it appeared that Fancy Brothers was just for some reason one half of the screen was loading like further ahead than it's supposed to.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
behind you
because
is
that's
showing ahead
fancy.
of you. It's like really fucking bizarre. Like it just doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense to me.
because it's fancy.
That's that's very, cutting the screen in half and fucking up with what it shows you and messing all of that. That is pretty fancy.
That is fancy. Vox, did I ever tell you? you know, when that cartridge, there's games that are labeled King Kong 1, King Kong 2, and King Kong 3. But it's just Donkey Kong, then Donkey Kong Jr., then Donkey Kong 3. And okay, when I when I first got introduced to like Smash Brothers, like I did not know anyone there other than Mario because of Fancy Brothers.
Because of
And
Fancy
when I saw
Brothers.
Donkey Kong, yeah, when I saw Donkey Kong, I kept telling my friends, "Oh, is that King Kong?"
That's amazing. I
I didn't even I didn't even know who Link was. I didn't know who Kirby was. I don't know who Captain Falcon was because that cartridge was my life.
I mean, Donkey Kong was like kind of based on King Kong, so it's not
Uh,
like it's understandable that if the game told, like, if you just grew up in the game told you that's King Kong, you'd be like, okay,
yeah,
okay, I
it's King
believe
Kong.
you. All right, I'm not gonna argue with that. Yeah, it looks like King, it's a big old monkey capturing a lady. I don't know about this plumber guy, but let's go.
You know what's confusing? There's I didn't even know like if Mario was Mario because like in the Fancy Brothers there's no title screen, just says one player game, two player game. And then when you got like the Mario Brothers, not the Super Mario Brothers, the one where you're hitting the floor and then you're kicking the Koopas.
Uh huh.
the, I think the menus titles it Pipeline, and when you open the
Pipeline.
game, the title says Mr. Mary.
Mr. Mary. It's almost like mystery. Mr.
Mr.
Mary.
Mr. Mary.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, but yeah, that was like basically the only cartridge I had on the Famicom for a long time. And
Wow.
then the other system I had was a PS1. But I didn't even know like what a Famicom was or an NES because I had a bootleg one.
That's funny. I mean, if that's what you grew up
Yeah,
with, what
so
else would you know, right?
yeah, like if you get like a label-less like Famicom, like what would you even call it? Even if, especially if you or your friends are not like true gamers at like age 3. So
A gamer
when
pod. Gaming
yeah.
pod. No, you know what I would call it? I would look at this device and go, that's a Soldier Boy console.
No, stop. But I think that the Social Boy console can run it. We'll take our as a
But here's
but yeah,
here's a question, Chair. I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Can the Soldier Boy
What?
console run Lord J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings Part 1 for Super Nintendo?
Yeah, that's what you were playing SMH.
Yes. So something I did this week, amongst other things, was I showed my stream J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings Part 1 for Super Nintendo. This game is such a janky, bizarre thing. The portraits of everyone looks hilarious, by the way. Blocking doesn't seem to work. You kind of do this attack as a super long animation. It's constant labyrinthian maps where you can't find everything. They repeat screens, by the way. Like, they will have screens for dungeons that will look identical to other parts of the same dungeon, and there's no way to differentiate, so you keep thinking that you're going in circles when you're not. It's constant fetch quests everywhere for items, and you don't always know if they, like, work properly and whatnot. And your teammates, because it's Lord of the Rings, you get, for, like, the first book, you get, like, Merry and Pippin and Sam. They all move as AI with your main character, but they just run around and do random things, and sometimes they don't attack, and they'll just stand there and die. And if they die, they're just dead forever. Like, you just can't get them back. And no matter what, there's always one character that stands by the door where you walk in and won't move, because it expects player 2 to move them. But if you don't have a controller, they can't do anything. So they just, no matter what you do, they always stand there. No matter what. And the funniest part is when you get Aragorn, he becomes your main character and you control him. And Frodo becomes the person who just stands by the door and does nothing. And up to that point, all your experience is on Frodo, because experience is only given to the person who finishes off enemies.
Wait, so can you not switch characters?
You hold the R button and it controls every other character all at once. Except for the person standing by the door. You just can't use them. They just stand there. So it's Sam for the first half of the game, and then when you get Aragorn, it becomes Frodo. And at this point, Frodo just got like the sting and the armor, so he has like an amazing weapon and armor, and he has all your levels because you were controlling him. And now he just stands there useless the rest of the game. And like,
cute.
I did a cheat to get all items because like we would be here for 40 hours for me trying to beat this thing just to see if I could get to the end, because when I originally played it as a kid, I drew maps and got lost. And I got to the end and the final boss like got bugged and I couldn't beat it for whatever reason, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and let's see, who was it? Legolas can't attack. You find his bow and you give it to him and then he just does nothing. He just walks around and like walks at enemies and gets hit. He has no attack. Great game. Unsurprisingly, there never was a part 2.
What? But it's
That's
amazing.
It just
don't you want
so
someone
terrible.
to stay by the door?
Oh my goodness. So to get through the other things I played this week, I played Metal Black, the shmup, which was really freaking cool. I might try to get into shmups more. That was really neat. Played some other arcade games. I tried the Mega Man X Dive beta.
Oh, roll.
Yeah.
Roll.
I think it's neat. If people want to try it out, the beta's out on Android, but they're gonna wipe everything before the official version comes out. So like I wouldn't spend a lot of time. And they don't have controller support yet. And let me tell you, using Joy to key to make it work in BlueStacks gets kind of janky sometimes with the controls.
Yeah.
But it seems neat. It's a grindy gacha game, but with like Mega Man X mechanics. It's got PvP. It's pretty interesting. You know, you get to play as Roll. That's cool.
Yes, the best part.
The rates are terrible. Keep that in mind. But I think it's the kind of game where you just like, you only need 1 or 2 characters, and then you just pump them up and play them. Because I mean, it's a Mega Man game. Just pick your favorite and like save up all your gems or whatever for when like a special version of your favorite comes out, and just use that. It's like, don't play that game if you want to collect a bunch of different characters, because like you're just not going to get them. The rates are terrible. Like they're so bad, and like because there's not a lot of characters, because you're supposed to just like pick 1 or 2 and be like, okay, I'm playing as Mega Man X. Okay, I'm playing as Zero, or whatever. Like, you know, or I'm playing as Lair, and her boobs are just bouncing all over the place. Yo, let me tell you about the jiggle in Mega Man X Dive. I was not expecting that. Listen, I know gotchas are horny. Okay, gotchas are horny. I wasn't expecting a Mega Man X game to just be like, here I am, boing, 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 boing. And I'm like, what? It caught me off guard. Like, I expect that from other gotchas. It caught me off guard just because it was a Mega Man X game. So, when the official version comes out, I'll probably stream some of it and play it if people want to check it out and see it when I play it, because it seems interesting enough that I'll try it. But I'm not doing too
Mhm.
much until the official version because like it's all gonna get wiped. So whatevs.
Yeah, let's see it. But which shmups are you gonna think of playing? Is it Toho?
I kind of want to play
Well, there.
Toho. I kind of want to
Yes,
get into
yes,
Toho.
yes.
I kind of want
I'll,
to.
I'll I'll give you the ones that are easy so you can get into it. So you don't just can't get past
Also, Vote
stage
for
four.
Waifus had some
What?
suggestions of like beginner shmups for me to play. Because I'll tell you, I love
Oh
Zero Ranger so much, and like
no, I
I
love
kind of want to get
Zero
into shmups because of it.
I
And
love Zero Ranger. The music,
so
it's
amazing,
so good.
so
It's so.
amazing.
Oh, let me tell you something. Okay, so like when I listen to music, I'm always like bopping my head so hard, and then some normie goes up to me and asks, "What are you listening to?" I'm like midis, and I made him listen. I was like, "What are these instruments? They sound so old."
I
And I'm like, "Yes, the best."
I appreciate it because like I've reached that point in my life where if I was out somewhere listening to something and someone asked me what it was, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd just be like, "Oh, this is the soundtrack from Nier Automata. It's a video game. It makes me cry." And if they're like, "What?" I'd be like, "Okay, bye." Like I don't even care. Like when you're younger and you're all embarrassed, like, "Oh man, it's video game music." Like, no, fuck it.
Fox,
No, I'm listening to these fucking midis that are goddamn amazing. And like, if you can't deal with it, don't talk to me. If you
you
don't
have
like
no
them,
idea.
do not download.
Do not down.
But hey,
Do not.
Tare, speaking of really good music,
Oh
you know what
yeah,
other game has an absolutely phenomenal soundtrack that I love and listen to
of
constantly?
course, of course. We already
Valhalla.
know.
Yeah, Valhalla,
Hmm.
cyberpunk waifu bartending. And
Hmm.
speaking of Valhalla, I think we should get our special guest, IronicLark, out here, the writer of Valhalla. That's right, everyone. We will
Oh
be right
yeah.
back in a moment with them. One moment. Gamers and gentlemen, can we get a pog applause for writer of Valhalla, IronicLark?
Yes.
Hello and welcome.
Oh,
How are you doing today?
It's fucking hot, man.
yes. It's so. It is.
We actually had a mild
It's
day here
so.
today. Like I got lucky. I ate my
Oh,
4th of July food outside today. It was surprising.
nice, but here, Japanese summers are famous for being so fucking humid, man. It's like yesterday got to like 70% humidity with like 30 degrees, and I was like,
That is ridiculous. You know what it reminds me of?
eh,
Like all the animes where when they depict it being hot out, they play the cicadas, the noise like the cicada bugs. And when I was young, I associated those bugs with being hot out, so I used to call them "it's hot out bugs."
It's
there's
hot.
actually something funny they do here. Some stores actually put like small audio devices around the store and make those devices play cicada sounds.
What?
It's
Why?
really cute.
That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know if that would make me go insane or not. So
Oh
Lark.
god, that's the other thing. Cicadas haven't come out yet.
Oh,
It's still raining. It's kind of funny because in Venezuela, cicadas, people say they call rain because they start like singing when the rain season starts. They
huh.
only come out when the rain season ends, so it's like they're calling the drought here.
Interesting. Huh. I didn't realize that. So,
Oh.
I am sure that my audience really wants me to ask a very important question. as the writer of Valhalla, a very, very important question, and I'm here to open up and ask you right now, what are
Mhm.
your 3 favorite Kamen Rider shows?
Oh,
Let's see. That's easy actually.
Mm.
Black,
Ooh.
One, and Oz.
Oh, what was number 2 there again?
01.
Zero. Ooh, 01 got up there. Ooh, it's always interesting when a newer show ends up in someone's like top list, because that means that's got to be good.
Yeah,
Now,
but I mean, it's a show about like AI and stuff. It was like made for me. I swear.
well, that's a good point. That is a good point. I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Kamen Rider Black so far because they put the first 2 episodes on the official like English Toku site and then just stopped putting more episodes of Black after
Oh
2,
no,
and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness.
oh no.
I got to get to that." So, I have a second question that's kind of like separate from it because I think these two answers are interesting in their differences. Like, okay, those are your 3 favorite shows. Who are your 3 favorite writers?
oh,
Hmm, question.
Right?
With that, I'd say double Oz again, and Oz, and probably third one is a bit of a toss-up. I'd say it's either Decade or Exade.
Ooh, Xaid. I am not, I am not an Xaid fan actually.
But you
Everyone
see, the thing,
oh.
the thing is that no matter what you can say about the season, the jingles of the toy are so good that I just can't.
That's what's doing it for you. I will say,
Yes.
Shotaro is my favorite writer from Double. Still my favorite. Still my favorite. And that reminds me. So, okay, back when I first played Valhalla, one of the things that really stood out to me was you put a Doubles reference in
Yeah,
the shop. It was the what was it? The Cyclone or Joker fan.
Joker Cycle, the fan, yeah.
And like I saw that, I was laying in bed, getting all cozy, playing Valhalla, and then I saw that in the shop, and like I just stopped for a second. I'm just like, hold on a second. Wait a moment. That seems familiar. Huh. That was always great, just catching those little references in there. So, okay. What right, let's I think people are more interested in this. What got you into creating games?
It's actually an interesting one because, contrary to what people might think, I games weren't like a dream to me, so to speak. Like growing up, yeah, I played a lot of video games, but I didn't think, oh, I want to make video games. I was more of a, I want to make stories
Ah.
person. Like I moved between making comics, making novels, all that sort of stuff. And then when I met Karen in college, it idea of making games finally crossed my mind. Like he was the one that went to me and went that came to me and went, "Want to make a game together?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Never in my life had I even considered that, but I started researching and then I started programming, and I was like, at the moment, it felt like it had the exact thing I wanted to make stories with, because I remember at the time I was really exhausted with like novels and stuff having too much fluff, so to speak.
Huh.
So when I started considering games, I was like, oh yeah, I can use this to make this the kind of stories I want. I can forgo narration. I can go straight to the point. I can focus on dialogue, which is the thing I like, and it just snowballed from there, basically.
That's a really interesting point. So, like, just reading a lot of different books that, like, or you, as you think, like, overly padded and stuff, and you just saw gaming as a totally different medium when you wanted to be
Mhm.
creative, and just that's, you know,
Basically.
that is actually really interesting. I don't know if I ever, I've always thought about gaming and the way it tells stories and how differently it can than other, you know, than like a TV show or books and stuff, and I've loved that. But that's an interesting way to come to that conclusion, like wanting to focus on dialogue and different things like that with getting to the point. So, what would you say are your biggest influences? Like, is it stuff that you played growing up that influenced you, or
Hmm. Honestly, I think the biggest like thing that I can call the biggest influence that I can pinpoint as far as making games go is probably Christine Love's work.
oh,
Because actually it was one of her games, Digital Love Story, that got me. It was, it was a nice game, but it was the game that made it click to me that, oh, this is a medium with so much potential. With before that, I played a lot of RPGs and stuff, and I knew games could have a good story, but that was like a game that made it click. Like, there's alternative ways from to tell stories, and just took it from there. Aside from that, honestly, the biggest influence in general is more just, I guess you could say it's like a discontent with how some things are made. I
uh,
remember the biggest, I always feel like the biggest thing that I do, that I have in mind when making things, is keeping in mind that, I don't know. Growing up, I always thought people don't talk like this. People don't do this. People don't act like this. These feel like characters. They don't feel like people, and that's
right.
basically the biggest influence that I've had. That I always had so much fun hearing people talk or hearing people tell stories and stuff. And I don't know. It never felt like any story like people on the story like I saw people on real life, so to speak, and that's basically the biggest motivator to do stuff, basically.
That is really understandable. Yeah, like there's definitely that feel of in a lot of games when people talk to each other, and it's just this unnatural or video gamey way. And it's interesting that that's what inspired you to create characters that have more natural sounding dialogue, especially because that's always something I noticed when I first had played Valhalla, was just that a lot of the conversations and stuff felt like normal conversations that these characters were having. And that's kind of what really pulled me in, because I'm not really someone who plays a lot of visual novels, really. I could probably count the number of ones I have on one hand, but Valhalla pulled me in with its definitely the combination of music and graphics and theming are just like all of the things that really pull me in. Like you show me a nice cyberpunk thing that looks good and have good music, and I'm like, okay, let me check this out. And I just that's what really pulled me in, was definitely the dialogue between the characters, because it definitely felt like you were seeing these specific characters have that conversation. So it's interesting to see that that's really what your motivation was.
It's actually interesting because one of the more common like criticisms or things that I always see people comment online is talking about how characters. This isn't to brag or anything. It's just like I always see people say people don't talk like this, like in this game, and I'm like, I literally pulled the dialogue you're talking about from things I saw in real life. Like, if the subject matter saw that, they would go crazy about the fact that I put that on paper. And you're telling me that people don't talk like that when I literally heard someone talk like that.
That's really funny, like the examples of real conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird criticism too, because I'll tell you, if there's any character in that game who talks the most like I do, it would probably be Betty, actually. Like, you look at Betty's dialogue and it's like, oh yeah, I could see Vox saying that. Like, that's I would read that and I'm just like, yep, that's how I talk. that's that's like that hint of abrasiveness that comes in from a kind, well-meaning person who's abrasive, and I'm like, yep, there I am. Oh man, because yeah, I have seen here or there some criticism and saying like, oh, women don't talk like that, and I'm like, oh, sweetie, go talk to a woman, please, please. Oh man. So, listen, there's a lot more about Valhalla I need to ask you about. But first,
But
first, Chair and I have some unfinished business over here. Yeah. Yeah. We have a salty session, and we need to spill some freaking salt. Lark, would you be so kind as to commentate our salty session for us?
Yes.
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, with that being said then, shall we head to the wheel of the salty session? That is right, gamers and gentlemen. Welcome to the slow loading wheel. Any moment now. There it is! The wheel of the salty session. That's right. Chair and I compete in a competition head to head to see who will be the victor. So far, I believe I'm still extremely ahead of Chair, but Chair has started to mount a comeback. What is the score now?
I think it's 9-4.
Is it 9-4? Well, no, there's I think it's 9-5 actually. I think you went up to 5 recently. So I have a comfortable lead, but I don't know. We've been filling this board with a few things that I think you have an advantage in. So this could go either way here. But tell us, what is on the wheel?
Okay. All right, guys. You know, thanks to the Patreon homies, we got Third Strike in here. Yeah, we got all the sick parries, but guys, are you really ready to see 2 out of practice people play Third Strike?
I mean, I guess that'll be funny.
Yeah, it'll be great. I promise
fantastic.
you. But you know what else is great? You know, the game next to it. You know, it's another game that's been released around the same. No, a few years after, because it's Top Fighter 2000 Mortal Kombat. It's not Mortal Kombat. There's no Mortal Kombat characters, but the MK just means Mortal Kombat. But for what reason? Is it SEO optimization purposes?
It's just nonsense. It's freaking nonsense. Play as characters like Cycle and Geese and Goku.
And Michael Jordan.
And Goku. Oh my god. What's next on the wheel?
We got Rockin' Ball, baby, aka Family Pinball on the Famicom.
I do enjoy that.
But you know what's even crazier? We got Ultra Fight the Kianta too. You get to play as characters like Zaki Wild, the FGC player. Yeah, he's in the game, and then he can whack moles.
What? All right, whatever.
Or you can play as a cute girl with the head crab stuck on her head. You know,
I prefer to play as the character that instantly explodes on frame 1.
No SMH, you're crocodile. But of course, we got something even more anime than that, and that is Melty Blood. It's Melty Blood, guys. The new Melty Blood is gonna come out sometime this year, baby. Are you ready for it?
I'm kind of excited for that. I'm curious to see what they come up with.
Let's play it day 1. I'll be there.
Nice.
And
Lark,
that's all.
Is there any game that you are hoping the wheel lands on?
The blood, obviously.
You know what? I hope it's Top Fighter, so you can see how ridiculous it is. The second one I hope it comes up on is Ultra Fight Dakianta too. Those are my hopes. But it's time, everyone, It's time to spin this wheel. And you know what we always say. Say it with me.
Yeah.
God bless
us
the wheel.
the wheel.
Here we go! It always hurts. It always hurts my ear. Why did I decide to do this?
Only the best. Only the best.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. What is this? What is this? I think it's 1 pixel to Top Fighter. I think it's 1 pixel to Top Fighter. That's what I'm seeing on my screen. What is it on your screen?
Came up here. Hold on. I think. Okay. Let me take the wheel, and I think if I change the size of the wheel, it will reveal at the bottom what it is. Are you ready? Go.
It's Top Fighter.
Here we go. Next game is Third Strike.
So close.
I wanted it to be Top Fighter so badly, but it's Third Strike. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness.
Time to go out.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have Toy Fighter actually.
Oh, whatever. Next time. All right, everyone. We're gonna go set up Third Strike right after this short little break. Hello, everybody. We are here. Give me a second. Make sure this is gonna show up. Did show up. Ooh. Video games? Video games. Here we are.
Video games?
Here we are in the salty session. So this is gonna be best 3 out of 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Hopefully the sound is good and it's not too loud. We should be good. All right. What was that noise?
Oh, that was me clicking out of the window, my bad. And it tried to roll back.
That's funny. Did it just change my controls?
Did it? It's how your controls right now.
I think it changed my controls. It totally did. Oh my god. I had all these controls set up. No, like, I seriously set this all up the other day. I don't know why it changed it back.
No.
That's really funny.
Yeah, just press F3 once you're done.
Okay, now we're good.
Not
Sorry,
gonna
everyone.
lie, I don't have much experience with Third Strike. I think the game that I have the most experience with in that sense is King of Fighters, because as it turns out, the stereotype of Latin Americans and King of Fighters is real.
I love King of Fighters.
Yeah, King of Fighters. Yeah, that's right. You know, I have a bootleg arcade cabinet, and in front of it just said, it's just. I don't speak Spanish, but I have it set to where it says prohibido jugar con Rugal.
Hermoso. Growing up, like, I didn't like think too hard about it. Then when I started seeing the memes and stuff, I was like, wait, I have a point actually.
Oh gosh. No! SMH!
Let him come out.
Oh no!
Oh, come on! Come on, what was that? Freaking robbed over here. I can't believe you threw me when I hit throw. I feel so robbed right now.
Now, find a new rival.
Oh man, it's been so long since I played Third Strike. This is gonna be bad.
The same here. Same.
Enter the heat of battle.
Just like
Go
what
for it.
multi-blood players say. Same. No.
That the only Third Strike
No!
machine I ever saw. It's actually always lonely. Like,
Yeah.
it was in an arcade with a lot of fighting games, and of course, King of Fighters. The
Yeah,
Third Strike
I-
one was always so lonely.
Yeah, I know. Like, cause I know your country is like really in love with King of Fighters. It's kind of the same in my country, cause I was from the Philippines, and like no one there really plays Street Fighter. It's all either Tekken or King of Fighters. No!
Tekken's the other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Prepare.
That one was less in arcades. That one was King of Fighters was the one that everyone played in arcades. Tekken was the one that everyone played in consoles actually.
Yeah.
Like you'd have a gun and you'd have people playing. Now, someone always brings a console or something. The first thing they ask, "Do you have Tekken?"
Oh yeah, true.
Oh,
This is
right.
my. That's my. What do you call that? No, SMH. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
No,
Just barely.
don't do this.
Okay, okay. Oh my goodness. I'm like,
SMH.
oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Okay, okay.
Now, find a new rival. Welcome to the world of the Street Fighter.
I say one because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Go.
No. Oh! How did that hit? I wasn't sure you. No, SMH, wake up, grab. Oh no!
I meant to do the EX version. Yeah. I kept doing like all the wrong buttons there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, no. No.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, oh. I did not even do anything against it.
You win.
their trick is faster than I remember it being. Like
Yeah, it can be pretty
the
fast.
speed at which
Find a new
the
rival. Welcome to the
speed at which the health bar goes down and stuff.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you can do
I
some
think
really
maybe because my
explosive
experience
stuff.
with Street Fighter is mainly 4, so that one is a bit slower in that front.
Yeah, Third Strike is it's pretty crazy. Like a lot of things happen in this game.
Held in 2D2, which is crazy to this day, actually.
No. SMH. No! Oh my gosh!
Ah, damn it. I'm like trying to remember what all my buttons are.
Ready. Engage.
No!
Oh, like I didn't even get my.
I am so slow, SMH. No. Oh gosh.
I didn't even combo it. Oh, I keep doing misinputs. I had you dead to rights right there. I was trying to do the air kick and I just couldn't bring it out. Man, I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing a pattern with the old games. Every single time we play an old game, I'm trying to play a character that I don't remember, and Chair just keeps playing Ken in every single one. I'm starting to see something here. I'm seeing how Chair. I think Chair's trying to cheat this system a little bit. Chair's just like, if I learn Ken in every game, it's like I have him in all these games, and I'm trying to practice these individual games to learn them. And Chair's found a little workaround. I'm here like, I forgot what my buttons or attacks are, and Chair's like, I'm gonna practice and finally catch up. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing Ken. Yeah. She's trying to learn 5 games. I just gotta learn 1.
I gotta pick Ken.
I'm on to you now. I am on to you. Alright. I'm
You
seeing
pick Kai in Guilty Gear 2?
Guilty Gear.
I play the easiest character in Guilty Gear. I play Mei.
Yeah, and I'm trying to learn Eno. I'm on to you, Chair. I got your number. You think you're catching up right now? You know what? Fine. I'll actually practice and learn the games we play on the wheel then. How about that?
Yeah. Call me.
That's the salt. Next time, I'll play seriously. Like when you just meet your friend over and over and they're like, I wasn't being serious, but next time I will be.
Time to get serious.
It's not over yet. Oh my goodness. Oh man. All right, everyone. We will be right back with more interview in just one moment.
What up, gamers? I'm Chair G Tables, lead developer of Lame Dimension and twitch.tv/Chair G Tables, and you're watching the Vox Off Show, which I'm also from. Oh shit! You're dead! I have an idea. No! Yes! World record! No!
SMH.
we're back here. Sorry, we're laughing because I just said to Chair, I was just like, you know how many times I tried to tech a throw with fears while we were playing? That's the level of muscle memory where I lost everything at third strike, just completely pressing the wrong button.
Yeah, you're like because you said like during the match, how did you throw me? I tried to throw too, and then
I'm like,
I kind of
oh,
feel like, yeah, I
I hit
kind
the
of saw
wrong
the
button.
frames where you're trying to throw a punch.
All right, all right. IronicLark, I got another question for you about Valhalla. Why did you ruin the game with politics by making Alma straight?
Them right into it.
Because how else are we going to set up Jill as a tragic character early on? Jill is a tragic character. She goes through a tragedy. That's the point of her game. So how do we establish this? The two characters that she has a hard on for are her boss, which is so tense that nothing goes through her head, the striker.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I've joked that the one character I've cosplayed from Valhalla, because the chair, if you don't know, I've cosplayed as Alma before, is the straight one, and always my partner jokes to me like she'll just make jokes all the time like, can't believe they ruined this game with politics by making Alma straight. It's just the funniest thing to me. So yeah, would you like to tell us about some of the thought process behind? Well, actually, you know what? Let me ask you first. What made you come up with the setting? With the cyberpunk setting, the bartending? What like
Well,
led to the beginnings of it?
so the game, original version of the game started in 2014 around, I think it was the end of February, start of March around that time, and at that point, itch.io had this thing called Cyberpunk Jam, which was a game jam for cyberpunk games.
Ah.
And at that point, Kirin and I were like going just out of college, and we were like, okay, we have time to start making games. And we were always looking for, excuses to make small games to grab some experience and stuff. And we got into that one, and by the time we got into it, I think a couple of days had already passed. And first thing that we noticed was that all the games are what you'd expect. It was like, oh, in this one you're a hacker, in this one you are a renegade, in this one you're a rebel, in this one you're also a hacker. And contrarians that we were like, you know what, fuck that. What if you instead are like, I don't know, some background characters? And that's where the idea started, and then Kieran came with the idea of it being in a bar, and then threw me a couple of character pitches, which was what the three characters in that prototype were, and things just rolled from there basically.
It's such a great idea too, because while I do love cyberpunk settings and stuff, I think one of my favorite parts of Valhalla is that it takes place in just normal ass people just going about their lives, while like the main plot of some bigger story is just happening outside, and it's like, who cares about that? What about people just trying to live in a world like that? Like here's yeah.
Actually ties back a lot to the situation that we were in at that point. Because let me tell you, seeing like dystopian media and like that sort of stuff really gets a different tinge when you are in a very dystopic country to begin with.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Because those sort of situations are always from the point of view of the force of change, like guy that is going to make everything different, that it's going to just kill someone and that will magically fix things, and
Hmm.
everyone that doesn't is always treated like being in such a miserable state, or just, being like sheep or something, just battle waiting for something to happen. And that kind of stinks when you are in that same situation where you are like, you don't feel the need to fight the system by going out in protest that you feel aren't going anywhere. And
Right.
just the whole thing felt kind of dismissive, and it let us like channel a lot of those feelings, especially back in 2014. Like, things are worse right now, but
Hmm.
that period of 2013 through like 2016 easily was especially tumultuous back in Venezuela. So it let us drain a lot of stuff. We actually, a lot of the news and blog posts that you see in the game and whatnot, actually based on, are mostly based on things we saw and things we lived through. And the funny part is that we had to tone things down. Like, they were so depressing that we actually had to tone things
Oh
down
my
to not make the
goodness.
game a bigger bummer.
Oh wow. Yeah, you wouldn't expect that. You usually have to like hype up all the despair and the tragedy and make it more dramatic. And then here you're just like, let's dial it back a bit.
Yeah, that
It,
should give you an idea of just the extent of the situation that we were in back then.
it's interesting though, because it definitely gives the whole feeling for the reader for something a bit more relatable, perhaps. Like it has the escapism of being in a cyberpunk future and whatnot, and all the different fictional settings such as that, but with a more relatable tone with the characters and going through everyday struggles and stuff. It's kind of an interesting way of escapism, almost like I would almost compare it to, say, listening to sad music when you're sad because you want something relatable that makes you because it makes you feel better, to
Sad music.
have a setting or that's might have some things that are parallels to your life that are horrible in society, but you're not trying to really fix it. You're trying to just relate to it.
Basically, that's it's actually kind of telling that a lot of the early fan base that we saw was from places like China and Russia, and I was like, no political statements here, no sir, no.
Cinch, that's very interesting.
Nah.
Oh man. So, how what made the decision to make Valhalla a visual novel? Like, why was visual novel the road that you decided to go down?
Yeah.
Because the only tool that I knew how to use at that point was Ren'Py, which
Ah.
is a visual
Oh
novel
yeah,
engine.
Renpy. It's pronounced Renpy, not Renpy.
It's made in Python, so I
Oh yeah,
assume.
Renpy. Okay, I've been pronouncing it
Ah.
wrong my whole life. Oh my gosh.
SMH chair. SMH. You
That's
need to get
me assuming.
educated by the
I have
pros.
no idea.
Gotta
Yeah,
educate chair.
basically, the only thing that I knew how to code in back then was Ren'Py, so that's basically what we use for that.
Same.
It's like, it's the thing we know. Let's do this, and let me tell you, jumping from Ren'Py to another engine is a nightmare. Like, so many
Yeah.
things that we just switch engines
Wait.
because there were a lot of technical limitations like porting
Yeah,
and whatnot.
Yeah. Wait,
I
what engine did you switch to?
switched to Game Maker Studio.
Yes, that's actually my favorite. That's my favorite.
But the thing about Game Maker Studio, especially like back in 2015 when we started, was that it didn't have dialogue frameworks, not did it have any easy tutorial on how to save the game. So
Yeah.
it was stressful. Let's say that.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of had to figure it out, but hey, I'm pretty sure just like what I did, there's always tutorials on YouTube, easy,
Oh,
and
there weren't. There
there
weren't
were in
tutorials for that.
2015. There were.
No, because what you saw tutorials for was platformers and roguelikes,
Oh yeah,
and what
of
all
course.
I wanted was something to show text with, and I didn't get that.
Who needs text? Here's a character jumping. Now we got him shooting. That's all you need. Swing a fucking sword. What are you, a nerd with your words?
I didn't know they didn't have any on 2015.
No, I basically used the only dialogue framework that I could find and just Frankenstein it into the game. Stuff like how the game saves only on specific spots instead of, being able to save anywhere like other games. That was a technical necessity because I was only able to what little save system I could make it work exactly at that point.
Yeah, I can imagine like something getting desynced if you save it at any point. It's scary.
But and then when I learned a bit more coding, I learned that making the game save anywhere will have been an even bigger nightmare, so it's not even worth thinking about.
Oh,
Goodness.
ouch.
Well, I mean, with how frequently you save in it, I don't think it's that much of an issue. I mean, I guess in a visual novel there'd be the issue of like needing to leave somewhere, so you want to pick up right where you left off in the middle of a chapter.
Mhm.
But I guess
Yeah.
that would be the main function of it.
Yeah, that did help us in the sense that we actually paced the game thinking about those breaks. Like, okay, this dialogue is a bit too long. Let's shift things around so that there's less time between this save point and this save point, and that paced the game nearly enough. But it's a complaint that I saw a lot of people bring up, and to be fair, it's a valid complaint because quality of life stuff. But let me tell you, unlike what those people say, it wasn't out of laziness.
See that's interesting. It's one of those examples I'd say of limitations kind of influencing the growth of something or how you design something.
Yeah.
Hearing you say you designed the chapters and everything, the pacing around the fact that you can only save in certain spots caused it to be created that way, which could be a positive thing with like limitations and whatnot.
Basically.
Do you have any other examples of like limitations that kind of inspire different design choices or?
Mainly the way that the game is just set in the bar and stuff, because we were like, okay, we needed to manage what we had, what we could make and we could use. So making only one setting, in this case the bar, and just jumping straight to the bar was basically a necessity to not make other backgrounds and stuff. And that's why when you're not in the apartment but there's dialogue outside the bar, there's like a codec like structure, because that way we could like work around the fact that we didn't want to make more backgrounds and focus more on the characters and their animations and stuff. That's another example of how we started like making things based around what we could work with.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
No, I can imagine these. I can totally imagine these. Gosh.
Yeah, is that something you deal with a lot, Cher? Like different limitations, design, like
Maybe.
influencing how you do things?
Yeah. Vox, I think you can totally see with Super Let's Hop where I cannot even draw. That's why it's 4 colors. That's the excuse. But we make colorblind the excuse.
See, and here I thought her being colorblind and being 4 colors was this like quirky little thing about it. Yeah, I like that though. It's a funny thing. Like the game's 4 colors, then you find out in the middle of the game, oh, she's colorblind. Like, and then there's actual puzzles where you can't tell what the color of things are, and like, it's honestly like kind of good. I don't know. Like that was interesting to me. So.
And it's all because I can't draw.
Oh, because I. Oh my goodness. So, Lark, are you surprised by the growth of Valhalla, like with how kind of big it's
It's
become and whatnot?
You have
so
no
good.
idea this
What
day
is
how
that
much that
like?
still surprised me. Let me give you the best example that I always give. When we made the game, we were projecting 10,000 sales. Tops, like lifetime, ever. It was
Mm.
like, okay, if we make this amount of sales, we can move on to the next project and just keep the ball rolling. We sold 10,000 copies on the first day.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And once I man, I was about to cuz I didn't look into the sales figures and I wasn't sure if Valhalla got big like gradually like eventually one day it just hit and like went like wow like you wake up one day like oh shit. That's interesting that just day 1 it's like no, this is amazing. We're all getting it.
To be fair, we're like, you know, didn't get like an explosion like other games like Undertale did.
Well,
Actually,
I
like,
mean,
I mean, but that style of one time things just blew up. One thing that I'm actually grateful for is that it's been a steady growth. It's like always get at least one sale every day.
Mhm.
So it's like it's not things going boom and then there's a million sales. It's more like okay, there's like 10 sales this week, and then there was a sale, so there was 100 this week, and it's been 5 years, so those pile up really quickly.
oh yeah, I would imagine so.
But also the thing that helps with that is that Red and I make come from making a blog, right? And it is still actually a small blog where we talked about anime and stuff, and it was the sort of page where you'd get like 100 visits a day, but you'd always get like the same 5 or 6 people always checking in and wanting
Yeah.
to see. So I think that our baseline for for how things work is with that sort of always seeing the same sort of 6 7 people. So to see that sort of situation, but at like a larger scale is wild. And honestly, I don't think I'm still used to it. Like I don't want to get used to it, but it's like it doesn't get old yet. It's like yeah, this
Yeah.
feels good. Like even to this day, even if I see like a random drawing that someone that's just picked up pencil for the first time in years or whatever made and posted it and tagged it, I'm like, I love this with all my heart.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
feels really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a question. Um, and involving Valhalla again, of course. What would you say, when it comes to influences for you and what you create, what would you say are your non-gaming influences? Out of
Oh,
curiosity.
non-gamers, huh?
I'm
Yeah, like
gaming. Funnily enough, it's going to sound wild to say out loud, but I think that the two biggest influences. I think the first one, I actually wrote a blog post about this, but the structure of the game is actually very inspired by reality TV,
huh,
Ooh.
especially like History Channel stuff. Because
play.
when we were like thinking about how to base the story and how to keep a certain narrative going and stuff, the biggest inspiration that we got was from stuff like Pawn Stars, because every episode they'll have like of the individual items and then they'll have like some sort of running story through the chapter.
Right?
And that's basically the example I got, and it came perfectly because Pawn Stars was basically what I had as background noise when making the game.
So
Are you
funny.
serious?
Wow.
Oh my god!
Where's the
Other
scene
than
where Jill's trying to sell a drink and someone's just like, "Yeah, I can give you about 5 credits for it."
but aside from that, oddly enough, and this is something that I like discovered lately. The biggest other non-gaming example will actually be Looney Tunes. Funnily enough,
Huh.
Ooh, that's something I
it's
wouldn't
not
expect
like
for
it's
this.
not like a specific like stylistic influence or anything, but I grew up watching a lot of Looney Tunes, like a lot. I think I this day I'm still a bigger like I watch a lot of anime nowadays, but ever since I was a kid, Looney Tunes was always like there. The point that I didn't think it was special, like it was such a presence all the time
Uh,
that I didn't really think hard about it. But the other day I got one of those like DVD box sets with like all the clips and whatnot. And watching them, I realized just how much like rhythm, the pacing, the flow of the dialogue draws from the way those cartoons go.
huh.
Well, always one thing I've always seen used for the dialogue is snappy, and it makes sense when you see it that way because those are like, because especially like the the golden era Looney Tunes cartoons from Chuck Jones and whatnot are very snappy in the flow and they're very dialogue based. Like that was what
Yeah.
differentiated them from Disney or
Right.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer with Tom and Jerry and stuff. They were very dialogue based, and on that note, watching that DVD box set um, has been funny because there's many jokes I didn't catch as a kid. Not because the whole oh it's a mature thing. No, it was because I was seeing the translated version. A lot of jokes
Oh.
just really went away.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
wow.
there's this one chapter where Bugs and Yosemite Sam are fighting to become the mayor of a town, and then a horse gets elected, and as a kid I was like, oh yeah, thing,
Yeah,
horse
the
won,
horse one,
random
of
stuff.
course.
But then I see the clip in English, knowing English, and it was like first the banner says our new mayor, Mare. And then
Oh my
when they talk
goodness.
about it, they say, "Oh, it was a dark horse victory."
Oh
I
my
was like, "Oh,
goodness.
Ah,
that's it,
SMH.
And now the joke makes sense.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
I've been wondering, have you sometimes been worried like how some of your dialogue would be translated to other languages? Because I know it's been translated to other languages. I think it was Japanese for one of it.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I can tell you from the experience dealing with the translators, I'm keeping that in mind now.
Oh.
It's it's not like, oh, I'm not going to do something because I'm not going to do X because that's going to be missing translation. More like this might be missing translation. Let's make a note of what I'm doing here.
Oh,
Mhm.
huh.
Because yeah, translation is a very tricky situation, especially because you're basically sending the strings of the game in a spreadsheet, and those are the ones translated. Which means that many times the translator isn't getting any context of what the line is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I would
so they
imagine.
usually ask, okay, was this a joke? What's this mean? Is this in reference to this or that?
I
And it's stuff that when you write
I know what you mean. I went through this too.
exactly,
I
exactly.
had I had to show like videos of like this is what I'm referencing to, and they're like, oh, okay, but maybe I can kind of hint at it if I do this, because I think the Japanese audience might be able to understand this one better if I started off with this. Yeah, it's it's just like that.
That makes a
Yeah,
lot of
and,
sense.
and the funny
Yeah.
part is that sometimes it's not even jokes. Sometimes it's just like, okay, when you say this thing here, is this referencing this other thing as context or this other thing as context? I need like this line is I need what this line is referencing to. Almost like not mechanical, but like a machine sort of situation where there's things that machine translation don't understand, but humans understand
Yeah.
because of inherent context and stuff. It's that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And I've started making a habit of making a lot, and I mean a lot of notes when I write anything, just in the
Uh-huh.
off chance that it might be translated, so that I can go, okay, asking me about this, this is what I did.
That makes a lot of sense though. That's probably like super helpful for the translators too, because like I
Yeah.
can't like that.
Mhm.
I can't imagine that's an easy job because of those reasons. Like I think when people make mistakes sometimes or like don't get the right context or thing, like they're not intentionally meaning to just be like, yeah, churn this out, screw it. But it's like if they're not given any context and they're given everything individually, like what else are they gonna do with it? Or if it's like a large project and you give it to like multiple different translators and you just split up who does what, and then it's like, well, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, they don't have anything to go by. They're just gonna be like, I don't understand why they said this. Are they implying that Alma has a watermelon farm? I don't understand.
Basically, yeah, and it's a really interesting process to see in person, because then you go back to like, I don't know, SNES games and stuff, and suddenly the lines that seem off make a lot of sense,
Hmm.
because you can see like, oh, this is probably what happened
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Have you seen like retranslation projects? They're like, yeah, we translated this better. And I'm like, oh, that's what it meant. That's what it was supposed to be.
I think the first
Oh
one that I
man.
saw was for Final Fantasy IV. One that it's like a hybrid of, okay, we're using a lot of the tone and lines from the original, but then we're also like fixing a lot of the weird lines here and there. And let me tell you, I played Final Fantasy IV to the point that I know that game by memory. When I saw the translation, was like, this is a completely different game. What the hell?
Wow. I still I still stand by my my guess, my hunch that the difference between certain games not being popular in the States compared to Japan is just because of like, did they pay the translators enough? Like, did they hire people and like pay them enough to actually like
Just,
get the work
just
done so
look
it's a
at
better job
just
instead
look
of
at the
like
Yakuza games.
just like
Basically,
grabbing some intern and just being like, hey, you translate this, and they're just like, excuse me, I'm not, that's not my job position, whatever, put it out. Like, and the result is that like a game will flop over here in America, and it's like, yeah, because you like it's gobbledygook that we're reading. Like some poor person is like not being able to given not being able to given the actual chance to like do this how it should be, and like, what do you think's gonna freaking happen?
and that just reminds me of that one story of when they were translating Final Fantasy VIII and they had to extract the lines via a Game Shark because they didn't send the script.
Oh my,
Game
they had to use Game Shark to get the lines because they didn't.
And that actually makes extra sense
Oh my
because
god.
a lot of games in Spanish are translated like from English to Spanish. So usually it happens with a lot of languages, French. A lot of them go from the English one instead of the original. Final Fantasy VIII specifically, I remember it clearly because the Spanish translation was clearly done straight from Japanese.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a lot of specific name changes and whatnot that do sound more like someone, a completely different person that just went, oh yeah, This probably means this instead of using the same frame of reference as the English version. Biggest
Right.
example is Ultimacia. Her name in Japanese is Artemisia, right?
Okay.
Oh,
But
yeah.
because Artema is Ultima, which is the spell and whatnot,
Okay.
Spanish translation didn't have that frame of reference.
Oh no.
So instead, Ultima gets translated as Artemis.
Artemis.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
because they saw that the thing translated as Arutima, and then the final boss is called Arutimesha. So they were like, oh, this is probably like the Greek goddess Artemis, so let's call it that. And they just went from there.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my god. Yeah, wow. Wow. This
Just
is
totally
deep.
different. Yeah, like I love hearing about stuff like this because it's interesting all the differences with that. My goodness. I would imagine you also get a difference of like when things are translated from Japanese to Spanish or from Japanese to English then to Spanish. Just like a game of like translation telephone.
Yeah, the going back another Final Fantasy game. There was an infamous case with Final Fantasy VII's Spanish translation where terrain, as in the vehicle, was translated as train, as in the action. Which became obvious on the very first minutes of the game because that's what you saw, that's where you were.
Oh my goodness. It's just like,
Yeah.
all right, chair. We're gonna go to the conference. Hop on the gym. Wait, what? What?
Soon
second.
TM.
Wait a
Soon
second.
TM. Soon TM.
That's amazing. That's a really hilarious example. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh man.
Translating straight from English does have the benefit of making all the other translations more uniform, though many times they do have to cross reference the original to get it right, even if they have the English one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so speaking of different communities and languages, I believe you did a huge you or someone did a huge article about different favorite characters in different regions. And was it interesting to see like what different countries like different favorite characters were and whatnot? And the reasons why?
Yeah, definitely. Mainly because Dorothy is more popular in Japan.
Who was?
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's my favorite character.
And who was the favorite in America?
The top three were always Jill, Dana, and Dorothy. But while Jill was always at the top, by being a hell of a bottom. Despite being number one in all ones, the order always shifted between regions, and the one that stuck out to me was Dorothy being more popular in Japan than Dana. In the end, Dorothy did get to second place just because of sheer numbers, but it wasn't like Japan made the difference, but more like overall, she was second most popular in total. But and for example, in America, if I remember correctly, Dana was more popular than Dorothy. And then from that, it was wild to see the difference because in some areas, Alma was more popular than Stella. Meanwhile, Stella was like borderline top 3 in others. It was very interesting to see what characters spoke more to specific languages. The fact that Jill was still the number one in every one of them, despite that.
Mm.
It's surprising. Usually you see like the main character of a game like not usually be the favorite of someone. Usually it's like, oh, we love the main character, but here's my favorite because they appeal to me more.
That
It's like,
means we did something right.
yeah, like I love Jill. Like Jill is such an amazing character, and I think it's just like, I don't know. I feel like you hit it out of the park with Jill. I love her. She's fantastic. Like she really is. Now, so one more question before we get to the Q&A section. But what was it like seeing the crossover with Girls Frontline?
Real. Like, ever feel like you shit post a lot and then somehow those shit posts get validated? Was like, I've talked about gacha games so much that one actually contacted me. It was all
Yeah.
worth it.
Because if people don't know, there was a crossover, there was a collab with Girls Frontline with Valhalla. And I gotta tell you, I played Girls Frontline just for like a few months just because of this. And I was absolutely shocked at the story they put in with the characters, how they integrated. It wasn't like this stupid, cheesy little like, we're on vacation. Oh, I'm in a bikini. Oh no. Splash, splash. It's over. Pay $5,000 for this outfit. No, it was like, it was like a full blown like, I don't know. It was like this mini little story, like a light
I
novel
think what
almost
helped
between the
was that
characters.
I think what helped was that, usually license holders have some specific requirements for the characters and IP and whatnot.
Mm.
And our only request of sort was just make sure Dana is never looking like she's hurt or losing. That's why her damage art isn't really her crying or getting hurt, but more like getting fired up. Precisely because of that.
That's really good.
That was our only request. Everything else was like, whatever you want. These aren't the characters in the game. This is another thing. You have carte blanche to do whatever the hell you want, and they did. By God, they did.
It was I was just really surprised by it. Like, cause like I remember asking about like did you get to write part of this? Because like it seems like they did such an amazing job. I was surprised.
Oh, they did approve it. I did give a couple of ideas. They did ask me what underwear each character will wear. But aside from that, no, they did it all themselves. It helps that it was clear from the interactions that staff involved was fan of the game, were very big fans of the game, so they
That's
really got
awesome.
the spirit of it,
Yeah, they honestly nailed it, and it was really cool. If people are interested in that, like I believe there's YouTube videos up there just showing like going through the whole story and all that. Just because it's I don't even think you can play it now if you like loaded the game because like the event's been over for a very long time. I don't think that's something you can go back and do.
We did tell them like tell us if you're rerunning it because that means we can make noise on our side. But aside from that, it was like we didn't really restrict. Oh, you can only do this once sort of situation because we believe that if we play nice, everyone plays nice sort of situation.
But I mean, if people watching this are interested, I believe there are videos of the full event, like going through the whole story. And I mean, if you love Valhalla, I think you'll enjoy what they did, and I would check that out. And you're gonna be really surprised when you find a video and it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, of like here's the whole content crossover, here's the story they did, and you're gonna be like,
I mean,
it was this long?
They replicated the mixing system inside the game. That's some extra mile going there.
So I mean, I really enjoyed that, and I think other people would too. So, all right, we're starting to run out of time here, so I believe the audience had some questions for us in our Q&A section. Chair, what do you have for us?
Okay. Well, this one. All right. This question was like asked the first question that you asked after the salty sesh.
Uh-huh.
and it says right there, otherwise, what are everyone's favorite drinks? So yeah, this one's pretty cool. What would you
Oh,
say is your
that's an
favorite
appropriate
Valhalla drink?
question. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Like in real life?
I would
Because we
imagine
were just talking about characters. Set
like
me up with
real
some context here.
life the alcoholic drink, right?
Oh, all right.
I would think so. I mean
It just says what are everyone's favorite drinks. I thought I was thinking it would be related to the game or something.
well, we can try to do both answers. We'll try to do both answers.
Yes.
For me,
No,
it's
both answers no, just real life because there's too many characters.
oh, well, it's Scotch for me. Scotch is my alcoholic drink of choice. Single malt, none of that blended stuff. No, thank you. Typically Speyside, that's my comfort version. Every now and then, if I want something smoky to go out of my comfort zone, I have like a Highland. That's what I like. Now, if I'm not just sipping a Scotch, if I want something mixed or whatever, it's usually like a Mai Tai, like a rum with pineapple and some other fruity flavors. I tend to like. Those I enjoy as well. Those are probably like my favorites.
Me, Moscow Mule definitely.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Especially if they like go the full experience and serve it in like the tin cup and stuff. I don't know why the tin cup makes it extra special, but it's kind of like when you drink like Coke in a glass bottle and it tastes differently. It's kind of like that.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting.
Cuba,
Yeah.
Cuba Libre is also like another one I fall back onto, but if there's Moscow Mule somewhere, that's the one I go to without questions asked.
Huh. And you, Chair?
Oh.
God damn it.
Coca-Cola, a lemon iced tea, and Capri Sun.
Chair, I swear to God.
Not wrong.
I thought we were talking about
I'm
alcoholic
pretty
drinks.
sure I drink more lemon tea than water these days, but that's besides the point.
God damn it. Chair's just like, I'm going laugh. Every freaking time. Like, whenever you ask Chair a question, you get the pause and then the giggles. I'm just like, all right, out with it. Out with it. What is it? Get it out of your system. All right, Chair.
Do you know what this implies, Vox? I kind of want to try the drinks that always get served to Dorothy because they're kind of girly and sweet. I want to try that. Me and Maple, we've been talking to each other. We're like, let's remake the drinks in real life. We've been thinking about it, and I'm actually really curious how they are.
That's actually something that people always ask is like, are you going to release an official recipe book? And I'm like, stop the fun from people trying to see what the drinks might be like? No.
Oh, so we gotta come up with our own interpretation. I gotta see what this is like.
When I streamed Valhalla, cosplayed as Alma, I was like trying to come up with like what the drinks would be and what they'd look like, and I'm just like, how would I even do that? I'm just like, you know what? I'm just like just put some scotch in a fucking glass or whatever. It kind of looks like a brandini, whatever. Let's go. Whatever. You know what? Here's a beer. I'm chugging.
Wanna know what the worst part is?
What?
When I wrote Valhalla, I didn't drink alcohol.
That's pretty funny. So you're just coming up with all these colorful drinks.
I had alcohol before, but it wasn't something that I had like ever. It was like something that happened once in a blue moon, because local culture in Venezuela is kind of tricky because it's like, okay, you don't have bars, you have the town's liquor store, and people don't really sit in bars. They just park the car outside the liquor store and just spend the night outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wildly different. Wow.
So the experience of just being able to go to a bar and drink something, that doesn't exist. You either go with your group of friends and your car and start blasting reggaeton full volume in the fucking liquor store that's outside of your house and you can sleep at night, or don't drink alcohol.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't even think of that. I still have to try, you know what I have to try? I have to try going drinking in VR chat.
Uh,
I have to go to a VR chat bar and drink and see what that's like. I hear that's fun.
Is there a Valhalla world? We have to check.
Oh, I didn't think to
there
check if
probably
there's
is. I
a
think I
Valhalla in
saw
VR chat.
one.
That would be so cool.
Let's check one later.
We'll try to see if we can find one tonight.
Yes.
What other questions we got?
All right. So, okay, Lark, I'm just gonna say there's a bunch of questions submitted here, but it's just a bunch of. But I just want to tell you that your players really do love you because I'm getting submissions saying like no question. I just wanted to say Valhalla saved my life. Thank you so much. And then there's also people saying, is it okay for me to declare thank you for helping and create
Aw.
Valhalla because it's one of my top 10 games and I constantly think about it every day in my life.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, you were talking about like your fans earlier and it made me smile too.
I
But yeah, like mhm.
I have a similar thing because like when I played Valhalla, it's when I was recovering from a surgery and I was just kind of lying in bed and I was just like I was miserable. Like it was just miserable and like Valhalla definitely was a very comforting thing to happen during that time. And so it definitely like I would have loved it regardless no matter what. But the fact that it like there's something special about it because it was during a time like that. So that was very meaningful and I've always appreciated that like just you creating it. It's
Considering
amazing and
considering how much the game helped us get out of a tough situation, it feels extra good that we help people through tough situations with it, you know?
yeah, I'd imagine.
Like it kind of feels like, okay, things went both ways, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's why I always like I will always recommend it to anyone. I will always talk about it. You know, I'll see Valhalla stuff on Twitter. I'm like, I gotta retweet this stuff. This is the best. I love it. It's just like it's such a positive thing. I feel like a positive force all around, which is like something you really want to see in like media and whatnot. You know, and I love that.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so Fox, this is a question for you.
Oh, for me. Oh,
Are you ready?
okay.
Yeah. Who is the better Shotoryo? Ryu or Ken?
Oh, Ken. It's Ken. Come on. His Shoryuken's on fire. Flaming Shoryuken. Let's go. Got that theme song. Da na 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 na. You suck. Da na 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 na. You suck. Da na 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 na. You're bad. Why are you so bad at this game?
Let's put it this way. Ken has a wife, a career, and everything. You're still like I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what a pet is by this point.
SLH.
Also, I love the fact that Ken is also like Kyle's like mother-in-law because his wife
You're
is
American.
also is the sister of Kyle's wife.
Oh, huh.
So
Wait, what? Are you
I
serious?
didn't know that lore.
Yeah.
I
Is that
actually didn't know that
legit?
lore.
The two are related and they hate each other.
Oh. That's funny.
Street Fighter lore? Oh my god.
I actually did not know that, huh?
I did not know too. I did not know. Meanwhile, I look up the lore for Street Fighter 1 characters.
Oh no. Oh
Oh,
no.
God. I think by this point, people just assume Street Fighter 1 was just some fever dream Ryu had. And that fever dream is why he starts Sagat at the end. He wasn't like knowing what he was doing.
That's fun. That's funny. Fever dream.
Because it's so ignored that it's like
That's great. All right, Chair. What else? What else we got?
Okay, this question is for me, and all it says is, should I download? Oh no. Fuck.
Download what?
I'm assuming it's Valhalla.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get Valhalla, obviously, but if you're looking to download a level in a game that's only made for someone's friends, it could be broken and buggy. But it's just for my friends, and if you're not okay with
Only.
buggy levels like that, then do not download.
Download.
So,
Lark, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Lark.
It's
It's an inside joke from the stream. It's a level in
it's
golf
an
from
inside
friends.
joke that resonates. Don't worry.
We were playing it. We were playing it again last night. Golf with friends, and we played the level again. Where the description of the level is that it's this level. This level's made for my friends. It's buggy, and if you're not okay with buggy levels, it's only for my friends. Do not download. All caps. I'm sorry.
You know, we had a conversation last night. We were like, oh, we should totally advertise Valhalla, and then I was like, oh, should I say,
Do not download. And I'm like, no, Chair. No one's gonna get that joke. No one's gonna understand it. They're gonna be like, wait, don't get Vol. But what? I don't understand. Don't get the physical copy of it. Okay, I want a physical copy of it. That makes sense.
Guys, download Valhalla. Guys, you can download it. You can
Oh my
download it. You have
God.
my profile.
Oh wow,
But if
you
it's
have
for
the.
your friends only,
Leslie?
do not.
Leslie, you can download it because of whatever. You can pirate it. I don't care.
Oh damn! Oh damn! Whoa!
I don't mean it that as dismissive. It's more like, people are always like, oh, piracy this, piracy that, and I'm like, I wouldn't be what I am if I didn't have access to piracy. You can't buy the game or just don't feel like buying it.
Yeah, guys, I live
There's a
with
lot.
multi-card.
There's a lot of mirrors out there. I don't care. Just don't expect us to give you technical support because you downloaded the first version that had a bug that we had to fix the same night we released the game. Aside from that, it's like, if you like it, just buy it when you can. That's
Lark, have
Yeah.
you ever had someone admit to you they're like, I pirated your game, but I loved it so much I bought it after.
a lot.
You see?
Wow,
I
wow.
A lot.
much.
Especially notable with people from my country, from Venezuelans, because currency control, they don't have easy access to foreign currency, so buying something in USD or whatever is extra hard. So they are like, I really love what you did and the fact that you're from the country. I'm so sorry that I had to pirate it, and I'm like, I think I care. I came from the same place as you. I know how it is.
It's
Yeah,
always
I
interesting hearing
understand.
hearing devs talk about this and creators of games and their opinions on it, and talking about this and the figures and it leading to people buying it more, and it's interesting. It's always interesting to hear
It's
that.
like people always say like, "Oh, you're losing a sale," and I'm like, "No, you're not losing a sale.
We're
If
getting
anything, you might
homies.
get a potential sale because someone got it with no strings attached. Oh, this is something I might like. I'm going to support them. And people that have the money are going to refund it if they don't like the game. That's not a guarantee. So
Yeah.
honestly,
Vox.
the fight for piracy has made more damage than it has solved things. So it's like any chance I
Yeah,
get, I'm
sure.
like, I don't care, dude. Just do whatever.
It makes sense.
Vox, one time there was someone that told me that they pirated the game, but
Hmm.
they liked it so much they gifted it to like 10 of their friends.
Oh wow. Wow.
And you go
Wow.
then. It's natural. It's like if people want to support you, are going to find ways to throw money at you. Which is why it's also important to make paying money easier. There's been a couple of cases with like online games and stuff that I'm like, I really like this game. It's free to play, but I want to buy cosmetics or whatever because I'm having fun and I want to support them. And then just getting anything is a nightmare because the card gets rejected or the payments methods are obscure or they only take Bitcoin or whatever the hell.
Oh,
And
God.
I'm like, do you want me to love you or not?
Sorry, we only accept save the kids coin.
Yes, it's
But yeah, it's like if people like things, they will throw money at it, and the idea that something is, I don't know, using money because of this or because of that, you're just going to hurt more things that you're going to fix with that, you know.
So we're almost out of time here, but are there any other questions to ask you?
Let me see. Let me see. Um. Wait, what the... Oh, this one. This is for all of us. What flower would you say represents yourself?
Um,
Hmm.
um, um,
Hmm.
just looking around my set here
Yeah.
and on myself. That's a hard one to answer, but if I had to say, what's my favorite flower? Chocolate.
What?
I'm sorry,
Wait,
it's a punch out reference. Punch out. Yeah. It's a rose. What do you want from me? Okay, they're all over. Look. Okay, whatever. It's purple roses. Josh. Okay, next person. You answer.
Like lilies. Like yeah, I like roses too, but roses are like sometimes like they kind of feel like the default option sometimes. Like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, I like roses. No shit, you like roses. Everyone likes roses.
I know it's basic, but like, look, it's
Basic
an.
is good. There's
Come
nothing wrong with that.
on.
But for the sake of being different, I like lilies. Like just in general, like usually when I find a flower I like, it's usually either a lily or a hollyhock. So either or.
See, roses. Look. A lot of the things I love are influenced by like Utana or like, then even further down on. It's. It was gonna happen. Okay, I can't help where the influences come from. It's just what it is. Also, I will note, just be careful. Lilies, I believe, are extremely poisonous to cats. I've had to have some fights with family members with putting lilies in the house because I'm like, you're not hurting my Kingston.
Interesting.
Watch out for that. Make sure if you have a cat, make sure you check what kind of flowers cats are allergic to. Lilies are a big no-no. I think tulips also.
Fascinating. I didn't know that.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Chair, what flower?
Guys, I can't take care of flowers. They die so fast because I'm horrible. So I always resort to plastic flowers when I decorate things.
Hold on. I'm more surprised you even try to decorate your house, your like place with flowers.
No, it's for events, not my place.
For
My
events?
place stinks.
What? You're hosting? So you're telling me you're hosting like a Melty Blood tournament in the bathroom? You're like, oh, we're in the bathroom, so here's a little flower in a fucking cup. Like take a random like a red cup, fill it with a little bit of water, and you put it on the sink with like one single flower in there, and you're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah,
Who
it's
set
to
the place?
make them it's to easily forget that you're on the toilet. Just kidding. I didn't put any decorations for that barbershop tournament. Oh, Lark, yeah, Lark, this is so out of context, but I did hold a tournament in a
goodness.
barbershop bathroom. Someone
Oh.
someone hit me up. Can you do a tournament? And they just told me to go to this address, and I walked in. I was like, what the heck? This is a barbershop, and they're stealing internet from the business next to them, and the strongest signal I can get is from the bathroom. So
Hey, no.
this
But the
train
important
station has
question
to be-
is, was it a Melty Blood tournament?
No, I was surprised. It was Smash Brothers. It was Smash
man.
4.
Should have been Melty.
Totally a Melty
Could've been-
Blood tournament right
That's-
there.
That's
it could have been
that's-
Melty Blood.
Smash stealing Melty's culture. I'm sorry. I
That's why
apologize
we
for
need
that.
the
I'm
remake.
sorry.
That's why
I'm sorry.
we need the remake they're releasing.
I'm sorry.
Get back that culture.
Listen, now if it's on Switch, that means it can be easier getting in the bathrooms now for the tournaments. Oh my god.
True.
God,
That's so
you're right.
true.
Oh my god. Oh, well, we are going over time here, so I think we gotta wrap this
Yeah,
up
got to
here.
wrap up.
Clark, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It has been such a pleasure to have you here because I'm just such a big fan of Valhalla, and it's really fun just getting more insight on like the process and making it and everything, and more about you. And thank you so much for
There's a
coming
lot
on.
There's a lot I haven't talked about, so if you ever just want me to keep talking, just let me know. I'm always happy to.
Oh
Yeah, there's
goodness,
stuff like
so
that.
much. Yeah.
we can get you back sometime for more insight on it.
I will be
Spoilers?
happy
Is this
to.
a
Like
possibility?
I was literally like trying to not talk too much because I can speak for hours about everything that went through that. So if you ever want me back, just let me know.
Oh my gosh! When this can happen again?
We're gonna have to do that. We're definitely gonna have to do that.
my
That's very
gosh.
exciting.
Of course.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to say, promote, talk about, or anything before you go?
Not really. People have noticed that we've been kinda quiet on everything, but that's just because we are working to have something to show. So
Hmm.
no, and that's in general. Like, for example, I'm currently on a break to just sort things out and whatnot. So I'm technically not working right now. So that's part of the reason why people might see social media being quieter than usual, because we are quieter than usual in general. Me, the company, everyone.
Well, listen, with how amazing Valhalla came out, I'm pretty sure I can speak for almost anyone that like we are fine waiting for whatever you guys are doing. And when things are done, when stuff comes out, it comes out, and I look forward to loving it then. But I am definitely, I feel enough patience in me. Like I would hate for you guys to feel rushed and put something out you're not happy with. I'd rather just, wait. Like that's just one of those things. Like I don't put extra expectations on something just because it takes longer. Like the whole attitude of like, oh, it took too long to make it. The expectations are too big. It'll never live up to it. I think it only happens if you overhype what you're making too much and overpromise. It's just like the creative process takes a long time sometimes. Especially, I gotta say, there's. I imagine you feel pressure after how big Valhalla ended up being for what you're doing next. So it's just like, take your time, do what you gotta do, and once the next thing comes out, I will be there for it.
Yeah.
I'll be there too.
Thank you.
No, thank you, IronicLark. Thank you. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
All right, it was my pleasure.
Chair,
Hi!
I had a very nice time, did you?
Hi! Yes! Yes! This homie is too cool! I can feel.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I've spared our audience because Lark and I could talk about Kamen Rider for like hours. We talk about it on Twitter a lot and whatnot, and like.
Well, we got some pretty cool Kamen Rider fans on the chat. I know a few Kamen Rider.
There's probably
fans
some.
in the
You know, I
chat.
love my Toku. Transforming superheroes, magical girls too sometimes. I think, well, if we're gonna have them on again sometime, I'm gonna have to. When that happens, I'm taking my time to talk about my Tokus. My Tokus. Gonna happen. You count the medals, 1, 2, and 3. Life goes on. Anything goes. Coming up. Chair, what do you got coming on this week?
Next week.
No,
It's
this week. What,
Ah!
yeah, this week. What are you promoting? What's going on? We're running over here. What are you doing? What are you doing this week?
I'm more looking forward to next week because we're doing Hazuki development on stream again with so many of our homies on.
Ooh, more
on the stream.
Hazuki development.
But you know when you were saying when you're telling Lark, you're like saying, no, it's not like when games take longer, we're setting higher expectations for. That's so funny because that was meant for him, but I was affected too.
I mean it for you too. I mean it for you too. I mean it for you too.
Really feel like I'm taking too long.
No, look, Hazuki's gonna be bigger than anything else you've done, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
I had to scrap like months of work because I had to remake the battle system.
Oh my god.
And I felt so bad for it. But no, that was like a year ago. When I was able to remake it, I'm like, okay, this is so much better. But oh gosh, we lost once.
All right, well, listen, Chair. It's totally fine. Yeah, when it happens, it happens. Listen, if you want to help contribute to what happens on the wheel, there's a Patreon, patreon.com/VoxAndra, or just to support me in the channel and everything. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There was a subscription during the stream today where we usually have the alerts off and everything. And that was by HackmanZZ, subscribing with Prime. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Enjoy your emotes of my face and Kat Kingston. Thank you so much.
Oh, and guess what, Vox? Guess what else I'm playing this week?
You have 2 seconds.
Terraligma. Okay, there.
Are you finally playing Terraligma? Finally. Awesome. Great.
It's been so long. I'm finally gonna play it. Oh my gosh.
Everyone, have a great night. Thank you for watching the Vox Off Show. Hope to see you later tonight for VR chat, what we'll be doing, and the Vox Off Show next week. As always.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out. Take care, everyone, and have a fantastic night. Say goodbye, Chair.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, you interrupted by saying, okay. This video was brought to you by the power and the support of the mighty executive gamers, who are known as Adam is done undulating like the Skilla. What in the world is undulating? Wait, what does the dictionary say here?
Ungulate.
Ungulate? What, means having hooves? What? You think you're a horse or something? Well, the video is also brought to you by something called Licensed Gamers, who are apparently called Confirmed Furniture Owner. Oh, that's nice. The only furniture I own is Kingston's cat tree and this gamer chair. Dan Video Games eyeing Vanny's cat food. Some say I'll eat you. Who the hell is saying they're eating cat food? Why are you putting someone else's name for your own in the Patreon video? That ain't Dan. What the hell's going on here? Sally. Oh god, finally, a normal freaking name. Lissa. Another, thank goodness. Alice. Oh, thanks. And Madam Melody. Oh, bless you for. I'm also supposed to inform you that these gamers appearing on the screen right now are certified? The hell you do to become that? You take a test or something? Oh wait, it says right here. Let me see. Do you also wish to become a gamer who is certified? Head on over to patreon.com/Voxandra to pledge your support today, and you can become a gamer who is certified. Huh. You know, my ex, the only thing he was ever certified in was being a certified douchebag.